Okay, it's 8:45, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'll keep my eye on this, make sure I'm letting everybody in. But good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm happy to be back here with you guys for sure. And I'm really, really excited to have Cory on this morning because he's just, he's different. And I really wanted to have him on and just kind of bring a different side of real estate. If you follow him on social media, he's really funny. And so I think it's just really entertaining and definitely something different. First, I just wanted to touch on what I've been really thinking about all weekend. And the passing of Chadwick Boseman that happened on Friday, who was the actor who played Black Panther, that really, really, really affected me. He had been, I'm sure, most of you have all read this story, but he had been diagnosed with like stage 3 colon cancer in 2016. And the year that Black Panther came out and debuted, and he had battled through that with multiple surgeries and chemotherapy. And during those 4 years that he was going through surgeries and chemotherapy, he filmed Marshall, Black Panther, 2 more Avengers movies, 21 Bridges, which is the series, another Spike Lee movie, and then an adaptation of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And the whole time kind of keeping it out of the public eye that he was battling cancer. And I read this quote that he had said, which was, "You have to cherish things in a different way when you know the clock is ticking." And it just really had me stop in my tracks and just think about what it took for him as a person to be going through all of that pain, to not really want the sympathy of the public, and to just be living every single moment and giving as much as you possibly can. And it just really made me think about, like, what are we doing, and what's our meaning here? And so this week, I just really wanted to encourage you guys to stop and think, because we're talking about numbers, we're talking about, go take listings, go do all these things, which is important. And we do have a big why, and we want to help provide for our families. But it really just made me think about how short of time that we have here on this earth, and making sure that we stop to think about the present moment and what our meaning is in life. One of my favorite Eckhart Tolle quotes is, he says, "You are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while." And so I just wanted to encourage you guys all this week to think about, in every conversation that you have, think about life as if this were your last conversation, and to be thinking about what is that meaning that we're seeking. And it's not necessarily, we just want to create this big life and have a lot of things, but like, how are we impacting people, and what's our legacy going to be? I know that for me, it's like making sure that I'm going back to any like strained relationships or any unspoken conversations that I need to have, and just having them. And that's kind of what I'm focusing on this week. And even that can be with clients, that can be just reaching out and talking to them and telling people, how much they've impacted your life and changed your life. So I just would encourage everybody to, be grateful for every moment that we have, and just let that be your focus that moves you through this week. All right, Cory, talk to me.
All right, well, Maria, thank you so much for having me on. For those of you who don't know me, which is probably a lot of you, my name is Cory Mills with the Mills team at Keller Williams, Dallas Preston Road. And I'm actually kind of going to talk a little bit more about, instead of talking about some things that we do with social media, Chadwick Boseman's passing actually kind of inspired me to shift my message today and talk more about just some daily habits that I have in place that kind of guard my mindset for whenever things like that, unexpected stuff comes up. And the reason that I felt that this was an important message to share is just with what we've seen in 2020 so far. It just goes to show that there's so many unexpected things, and it feels like 2020 has been a tragedy within itself at some point. You know, it's just been a grind, and there's always more things coming. That's one thing that I know, is that there's bad things are going to continue to happen, but it's how we react to them and how we safeguard our mindset and keep going. So today I'm going to share with you guys some daily habits that I have in place in my business. Some of these are daily habits, some of them are more on a weekly basis, but they're very important to me in my business. And hopefully it gives you some ideas on how you can safeguard your time and your mindset. So to start off, one of the things that I do every day is I write down my goals, and I revisit why it is that I have those goals. You know, if you tell me, Cory, go make 20 sales calls, or go, you know, recruit an agent or something, I'm not too crazy about that. But if I tie it back to my reason of why I do that, you say, Cory, go make those 20 sales calls because remember you told your wife that y'all were going to go on that vacation, or y'all were going to be able to, you know, get the home of your dreams. If I'm able to tie it back to my why, then I have a lot more purpose on those conversations, on those phone calls. Another thing that I do is I write down what I'm grateful for. And usually I also write down an inspirational quote as well. One of the quotes that I find myself writing down more often than not is, do the thing and have the power. It's something that I heard Tom Ferry say. And for me, that means, you know, when I hear do the thing, it means do the little things, like make your phone calls or reach out to the people that you care about, and just check in with people. And whenever I do those little things, it gives me the power of accomplishment. And a great tool for that is the Bold Planner. I absolutely love this. You know, it right there, it's kind of built out for you to write down what you're grateful for, write out your goals, and kind of revisit your why. So it's great to have that right in front of you every day whenever you start your day off. The third thing is I highly recommend people just turning off the news. News used to stand for notable events, weather and sports, and now it's just kind of negative events and world sadness. So if you're constantly, you know, watching the news and, you know, following political pages, or, you know, if you've got that one friend who always has a strong political opinion on stuff, and their comment section in social media is always a battle, you know, it really can affect your mindset. So just, you've got to be careful about what you're consuming, which brings me to the next one, consuming positive content. And that could be anything like starting your day off with a call like this, or listening to podcasts. What I like to do is I like to find people who have accomplished things or accomplished things that I would like to accomplish. And I love listening to interviews that they have about how they got there, what inspired them to do that, and stuff like that. So, you know, block out the negative stuff and replace it with some good messages from people who are doing what you want to do. One of the last things is give yourself permission to feel burnt out, and take a step back and realize that there are times whenever, you know, especially in this business where it just seems like we go nonstop. You kind of need to take a step back, maybe take a day off or take a week off. Hopefully you've got some systems in place when you do take that week off. But, you know, give yourself a chance to just kind of reset and recharge, and understand that when you feel burnt out, that's just your body telling you, you need to slow down a little bit. You need to get back to the basics and just kind of rejuvenate, and then really focus on helping your clients and providing that value. The last thing that I try to do every single day is get out and get some sort of physical activity, and enjoy the sunshine. It's kind of hard on a day like today when it's raining here in North Texas, but that's something that's always been kind of my stress relief, my kind of, I love to go up to the park and shoot basketball. That's what I do for fun. But anyways, that's some things that I've put in place in my business. And like I said, the reason that's so important to me is because one thing that remains constant is that there are all kinds of things happening around the world. All kinds of things are going to happen with the real estate market, and it's outside of our control. But what we can control is how we react to it. And having some daily habits like this in place really ensures that whenever this stuff happens, you are able to maintain focus on your goals and maintain focus on serving your clients and being there for those, you know, the people that you love. So that's all I've got for today, Maria. I hope that was a little bit short on time, but I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no, that's great. The daily habits are so important. I think it's not just putting those habits into place, it's just being consistent with them. And,
Right.
you know, like I do same thing. Like I started to do 5 gratitudes every morning. Actually, my boyfriend and I, we send them to each other. And it's just completely changed not only my mindset and my energy, but like if it's the first thing I do when I wake up, it's adrenaline, right? Like focusing on gratitude is like an energy source. So that's great. I do have a question for you though, because yesterday when you sent me your numbers, I was like blown away about 91 transactions year to date. What is your I'm going to shift gears a little bit to business, but
Okay.
what is your team structure look like, and how are you able to keep this sane of mind if you're doing 91 transactions in 8 months?
So we have 6 agents.
Okay.
We have a listing coordinator, transaction coordinator, marketing coordinator. And then I have an in-office, and those are all virtual. I have an in-office guy who he's also one of our agents, but he also will run errands, put out signs, lock boxes, stuff like that. And he kind of coordinates with the marketing as well. But I think up until about halfway through the year, we had 3 agents, and then we've got 3 new ones. So we're right now, the focus is on getting them up to speed on the systems, and having their daily conversations and converting leads.
Wow. And do you guys do you have group lead gen, or what does your lead gen look like right now during this crazy time?
So a lot of kind of like you mentioned, for me personally, I get a lot of business from social media and just my sphere of influence. Then we also, we do some online marketing. We have several online lead generation sources. We do Facebook, paid advertising, Google pay-per-click. We do Zillow, just several different online sources. And then I'm not as consistent with expired leads and for sale by owners, but we do get business from that. I have an expired mailer system that I use. I actually we got our biggest listing off of an expired mailer for our market. It's 5,000 square foot house on 116 acres. And the guy just responded to a mailer, and he texted and said, "Hey, I need a realtor." And so it's 1.35 million. And so if anybody has a buyer for that, get at me. So, but we do, yeah. So that's kind of just a breakdown of our lead generation sources. And I think our biggest one is referrals from past clients and sphere of influence through social media.
That's awesome. So what would your one piece of advice be to people who are kind of struggling right now to get leads during this time when we can't really go around and door knock, and open houses are kind of iffy? Like, what would you tell a new agent on your team, like how to go get business right now?
So I think the number one way that that somebody could go out and get business right now is by leveraging their sphere of influence, and really doing that through social media, because you can't, some people still may not be able to go out and meet up for lunch, just depending on where you're located. But we do a lot of walkthrough tours. We do a lot of market updates that are live on Zoom, just like this, where we'll stream it to our Facebook page. And we try to come off at, we kind of like your post said, we use a lot of humor in our posts just to keep people engaged. But we also make sure that we're providing information that consumers will look at and say, wow, the Meals team really does know what's going on in the market. They're the market experts, and it just keeps people engaged. So that's what I would recommend is be on social media. do some, if you don't have any listings right now to do a walkthrough on, go to a model home with a builder and walk through it and just do a live video. But sharing content like that, just letting people know what you do. And then of course, reaching out to past clients is huge. If you can call somebody up just to check on them, you don't have to call saying, hey, I'm asking for a referral, but, just call them, check on them and say, it's been a crazy year. How are you doing? And just, see if there's anything you can do to help them.
Totally. I love that. And I do think that social media, even if you're not a huge social media presence, I think just engagement, commenting on people's, then when they comment back, you go message them and get your level of engagement up on there. So I think that's great advice. Thank you so much. You're awesome. I definitely, I love following you. I think you're hilarious. But it's a good mix of both. You're funny, and obviously this is what you do, but it's memorable because you're funny. So, but guys, speaking of FSBOs and expireds, this week definitely want to plug in. We have Win the Listing, and it's leveraging the buyer registry, the Go Buyer Registry for FSBOs and expireds with Sarah Layson. Sarah Layson is the team leader of the Memphis Keller Williams, but she also owns. She's team leader over 3 different market centers, but then she has a huge team as well, and they are killing it at FSBOs and expireds using the Go Buyer Registry. So definitely plug into that Thursday from 1 to 2. That'll be here. That'll be here at the same Zoom ID and password. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. Thank you so much, Cory.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.